Some people will tell you an 18-year-old has the right to walk away and never look back. But let me ask you this. Would your daughter storm out barefoot in the middle of the night, leaving her phone, her purse, and everything she owned behind? That's not freedom, that's a warning sign. And yet the city of Austin moved on, as if Roxanne Paltauf had never existed. Welcome to Detective Daniel Files, where missing voices are never forgotten. Subscribe, click the bell, and tell me your name and where you're watching from. Because every case we cover could be closer to home than you think. Every parent knows the sound of their child's footsteps coming home at night. For Roxanne's mother, that sound never came again. Roxanne Elizabeth Paltauf was only 18, a daughter with a smile her family adored, a girl who dreamed of earning her GED and making her mom proud. In the summer of 2006, while Austin danced to the rhythm of music and neon, Roxanne's life was stolen by silence, a silence her family still hears every single day. It was a warm July night at the Budget Inn Motel in North Austin. Inside a small room, Roxanne was with her boyfriend. What happened next has haunted her family for nearly 2 decades. The two argued. No one knows the full story, but what is certain is what came after. Roxanne walked out of that room barefoot. She left behind her purse, her clothes, even her cell phone, the one thing teenagers never put down. She stepped into the night with nothing, and she was never seen again. In 2006, a teenager without her phone was almost unheard of, but Roxanne's cell phone sat inside that motel room, untouched. She walked out barefoot, leaving behind the one thing she always carried. That phone was never used again. No calls, no texts, no trace of life after that night. Hours earlier, it had been buzzing with the chatter of a teenage girl, plans, friends, small details of everyday life. Then suddenly, silence, a silence that has lasted for years. In those first critical hours, Roxanne's boyfriend claimed she walked off, heading toward her mother's home. But the distance was miles away, a dangerous walk at night, through busy roads and dark stretches no young woman should face barefoot and alone. Her family grew frantic. Calls went unanswered. Worry turned to fear. When police were finally contacted, the response was crushing. She's 18. She has the right to leave if she wants. To authorities, she was an adult making a choice. But to her family, it was the beginning of a nightmare. By the next morning, panic had already settled in. Roxanne's family refused to believe she had simply chosen to disappear. They began making phone calls, asking friends, retracing her steps. Her mother drove through neighborhoods, searching sidewalks and empty lots, calling out her daughter's name into the silence. Flyers went up across Austin, Roxanne's face taped to street poles, gas stations and shop windows. Her mom's words were simple but powerful. She wouldn't just vanish, she always called me. But as hours slipped into days, hope turned heavy. Each sunrise meant another day without answers, another day without her voice. And while the city around them carried on with music, traffic, and laughter, one family was left in heartbreak, fighting against time, fear, and the growing silence that swallowed Roxanne's name. As parents, we all believe our children will come home at the end of the day. We count on that sound of the door opening, the voice calling from the hallway. But cases like Roxanne's are a painful reminder that safety is never guaranteed. That's why I created my digital guide, Predator Next Door, How Teens Are Lured, Taken, and What to Do to Stay Safe. It was built for moms, dads, and even grandparents, because no family should ever face the silence Roxanne's mother lives with. You'll find the link in the description. Take a moment, get your copy. It could be the step that saves the child you love. When Roxanne's family begged police for help, the first response was hesitation. To them, she was 18. Legally an adult, and adults had the right to leave if they chose. That simple label, adult, delayed everything. No Amber Alert, no urgent search parties, just waiting. But waiting is deadly in a missing persons case. Every hour without action is a door closing, a lead going cold. Her family watched helplessly as time slipped away. Days later, the tone shifted. Police reclassified Roxanne's disappearance as suspicious. By then, the trail was already fading, and a mother's worst fear had taken root, that the hours wasted might have cost her daughter's life. According to her boyfriend, it was just an argument.
Roxanne got upset, stormed out, and he assumed she was heading home. But his version leaves behind more questions than answers. If he cared, why didn't he go after her, especially knowing she had no shoes, no purse, and no phone? Why was that phone, her lifeline to the world, left behind in the motel room? And why did he stay inside, while the girl he claimed to love walked barefoot into the night, never to be seen again? North Austin at night is no place for a young girl to walk alone. Busy corridors filled with traffic, strangers drifting in and out of cheap motels, and shadows where predators wait for opportunity. Roxanne stepped into that darkness barefoot, upset, and completely unprotected. No car, no phone, no way to call for help. Every parent listening knows that's a nightmare scenario. One wrong encounter, one dangerous stranger, and your child can vanish in an instant. For Roxanne, that walk may have been the last anyone ever saw of her. North Austin at night is no place for a young girl to walk alone. Busy corridors filled with traffic, strangers drifting in and out of cheap motels, and shadows where predators wait for opportunity. Roxanne stepped into that darkness barefoot, upset, and completely unprotected. No car, no phone, no way to call for help. Every parent listening knows that's a nightmare scenario. One wrong encounter, one dangerous stranger, and your child can vanish in an instant. For Roxanne, that walk may have been the last anyone ever saw of her. In the weeks that followed, rumors began to swirl. A few people claimed they saw a young woman matching Roxanne's description. Tips trickled in, phone calls, whispers, and stories that seemed hopeful at first, but none of them were ever confirmed. No camera footage, no solid witness, no trace of her beyond the moment she walked out of that motel room. It was as if Roxanne had stepped into the night and been swallowed whole, leaving nothing but silence and questions behind. Before we continue, I want to speak directly to parents and grandparents watching this. You've seen how quickly these stories turn. One wrong step, one moment of silence, and a family's life is never the same. Timing and awareness can be the difference between bringing a child home safe or living with heartbreak. That's why I created my safety ebook, Predator Next Door: How Teens Are Lured, Taken, and What to Do to Stay Safe. It's filled with real strategies families can use right now. The link is in the description. Think of it as a small step that could prevent a tragedy. Roxanne's mother said it best: the city just kept moving. While cars rushed past and music filled the Austin nights, her family was frozen in grief. Every unanswered phone call cut deeper. Each birthday came and went without Roxanne's smile at the table. The world went on as if nothing had happened. But for her family, time stood still. Their fight to keep her name alive never stopped, even when it felt like the rest of the city had already forgotten her. Was Roxanne's disappearance a choice? Some have suggested she left voluntarily, but if that were true, why would she abandon her phone, her purse, and her shoes? For those who knew her best, that theory has never made sense. Abduction seems far more likely. A young woman, barefoot and upset, walking into the night, the perfect target. But by who? Some still point to her boyfriend, questioning why he didn't chase after her, why he stayed behind in the safety of the room. Others wonder if she crossed paths with a stranger, caught up in the dark undercurrent of Austin's trafficking corridor. Each theory leaves gaps, each raises questions, and yet after all these years, none have brought Roxanne home. No body, no trace, no confirmed evidence to explain what happened after she walked out that motel door. For years, investigators have searched, chased tips, and followed leads that went nowhere. Each season that passed made the case colder, the trail quieter. It is as if Roxanne stepped into the shadows of North Austin and was swallowed whole, leaving behind nothing but questions, and a family still waiting for answers that never come. What makes Roxanne's case stand apart is the cruel timing of her age. At just 18, she fell into the gray zone of the law, old enough to be labeled an adult, yet still a teenager in every way that mattered to her family. That one detail meant less urgency, fewer protections, and critical hours lost. She also left everything behind: her purse, her clothes, her phone, the very things no young woman willingly abandons. And perhaps most haunting of all, she vanished from a city alive with traffic, lights, and people, in a place where someone should have seen something. Roxanne disappeared without a single witness. That silence is what makes her case so painfully unique. For Roxanne's family, every day has been a cycle of grief, hope, and exhaustion. Grief for the daughter who never came home, hope that one phone call might still bring answers, exhaustion from years of searching, only to meet silence at every turn. For the community, her disappearance left a shadow, distrust of strangers, fear in familiar streets, and the quiet fading of her name as the years passed. And for other families, Roxanne's case is a chilling reminder. If it happened to her in a busy city like Austin, it could happen to any child, anywhere. Today, Roxanne's case remains officially open, but it sits on the shelves of Austin police as a cold case. There have been no arrests, no charges, no breakthroughs to give her family peace. investigators face the hardest truth in missing persons work. As time passes, leads fade, witnesses forget, evidence is lost, and every year that goes by without answers makes justice feel further